Hi YouTube, Catherine Michelle. Just a quick update on what's going on um, in the Philippines. This was yesterday's news. Just things have been real busy. They now have I'll get to it. Oh my gosh, I did this earlier too. They now have 38 dead, 636 cases. However, they did have 6 more recoveries, so that is a good thing. That's always good news to have people recover from this. Here in Colorado, we are now under a mandatory stay-at-home, I don't know if you want to call it law, situation, whatever. And I just pray people listen. Of course they're not. People just, there's so many people on the internet and in the mainstream media and on the news and everywhere else that keep saying that this is not real, it's just a joke, it's being blown out of proportion. And there are far too many people listening to that rhetoric and they don't pay attention. So what do? They all flock to the stores. And so I have a feeling we're probably going to end up in the same situation as San Francisco and New York and every other country that's been put on lockdown because, yeah, you can't trample on people's rights. Anyway, I don't want to get into the negative and irresponsible behavior of some people, although I do want to put this out there. The people that I know that work in the large distribution food centers, again, you know why I won't name names, they're like pleading and begging for people to stop congregating, stop running to the store in masses, just stay home. How hard is it? It's like there's these memes that go around saying, people are always begging, while they're at work, oh man, I wish I could just go home. I just want a vacation. You get a vacation, and then what do? I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go to the store. If I could only just stay home, the things I could get done. You can stay home now. And guess what? It's the law. But what are you doing? Instead of doing all those things you had planned, it's like, I got to run here, I got to run there. You can't make me stay home. Oh, the human condition. Not one I don't think anybody will ever understand. But please stay home. You just don't know how and if you've picked something up. Are you transferring it around? And this isn't fear-mongering. It's just a fact. So please, just listen. Don't go out if you don't have to, I know people who are picking this up in ways they don't even know. They're like, I didn't even go to a place where they had lots of people, and yet they still end up with it or with symptoms that lead their doctors to believe they have it. So, with how this virus lives for quite a bit of time on certain surfaces, why risk it? You know that the vast majority of people are dying because the medical systems cannot keep up with the sheer volume of people who get sick all at once. We've heard the term flatten the curve. And I never wanted to say that term because it's, I hate catch-all phrases, but what else can you say? It's like, just make it so that not everybody gets sick at the same time. It will bring the death rates way down. Is it that hard? And like we've said so many times, we live in Colorado, so here the growing season's pretty short, but now it's springtime and it's beautiful. Of course, we have some cold, nasty weather coming in tonight, supposedly, but this is springtime for us. Start some seeds, people. Start a garden. If you're all panicking, which so many people here are panicking over food, although they've been told time and time again that the food is coming in, the grocery stores are stocking, but they can't keep up with the mass dive on the system. So if you're so worried about that, not saying you shouldn't be, but if you are, grow your own food. Start it now. So when comes summertime, when you're so afraid there's not going to be anything there, let's pray there is. But if there's not, you will have your garden. You will have your own food coming in. You will be making enough to put away for the winter and probably even feed some of your neighbors. Do a garden. Keep yourself busy. Okay, that's my preaching for the day. But, I'm now looking for other things to do because, I've been staying home just because I can't afford to get sick. Not with anything, let alone with this thing that's floating around right now. So, I've left my house maybe once or twice in the last 3 or 4 weeks. 3 weeks. Let's see. When did I stay home? I started staying home on the 4th, and I've left to go get medication and run to the store for something that I didn't have. I think it was like flour or something. But other than that, I've been home, and so now I need to start digging into my box of what can I do today? Because I've started my garden, organized my craft room. See, I could start making things. I could start sewing again. Almost done with an Afghan I'm making for my oldest son. He's my foster boy, but he's my son. And his mom, I know sometimes his family gets a little upset, but he came into our life and it's like, okay, he just became part of the family. Great kid. But anyway, so been doing that. Other than that, I think that's been keeping me busy, but now I need to find something else because it's like the natives are getting restless. So hopefully the weather warms up and stays warmed up over here so I can get the garden into the ground. That would be really good. But I hope the rest of you are doing really well. Oh, our cases here. Our cases in Colorado are jumping up by almost 200 every day. And I understand that a lot of that is because they now have gotten all of the backload of tests done and completed. And so thank goodness the vast majority of those tests are negative, but right now we have over 1,000 that are positive. But the backlog is now up to date, so everything that's done, it should be pretty easy for them to keep on top of the actual numbers now. We have 19 deaths. And I think that's about it. I forget how many hospitalizations. 147, I think, are hospitalized due to this. I spoke with friends of mine who are nurses here in this state, and they all feel right now prepared, and they're just hoping that it stays low, that the outbreak doesn't occur here like it's happened every place, a lot of other places like Italy. Because if we as Coloradans can maintain how this outbreak starts to peak and more people start to get sick, if they can control that and keep it lower, then obviously our healthcare system will be able to stay on top of that. So we'll have far fewer deaths than what has been seen other places. And I'm sure every other place has felt the same way, every other country. I'm sure Italy feels that way. And for those, if you hear other people out there spouting that this is a joke, it's a hoax, it's not real, just look at Italy, look at Iran, look at, China, look at, and then look at places like Taiwan and Hong Kong who've been able to really suppress this outbreak. And how did they do it? They had to get real tough for a while, but it paid off for them in the long run. They have not suffered hardly any deaths whatsoever, and that's how it should be. But it's just getting people to understand what they need to do to keep it under control for now, because this is a new virus. We don't have statistics on this. Nobody does. You can't compare this with the flu, which far too many people are still doing to this day. They still don't get it. And you will hear other people spout some ridiculous comments like, viruses don't cause illnesses, and I want these people to convince those who've died from Ebola, from the flu. And then they spout the deaths from the flu, right? But the flu is caused by a virus. Tell all these people it's not real. I want them to take their happy butts to the countries that are suffering the most right now, and you get in there and you get to their hospitals and to their departments, and you don't wear the hazmat gear that they are. You just take care of people because it's okay. It doesn't kill you, remember? You go do that. I want to see photos. I want to see pictures. I want to see you on the front lines with these patients and telling them all how they're not really sick, how it's just a government ploy. Okay, snarkiness is done. Have a great day.